Remember when I was in Sierra Vista and I got that job and was in training with that young man who was Indian from India and Caribbean, which they called Indians, which were not Indians, right? His name was Steve Mohan, right? Charming and attractive young fellow. And we went to lunch together. He walked with me. He drove, I think, and we went down to lunch together. He sat and talked with me. I guess he'd seen my videos on YouTube, but we talked about Jesus and reincarnation and so forth that his traditions had. And he said, if I had been there, if the Persian, one of the people that walked east, I would have been screaming for his crucifixion just like my sister Linda said, because he'd irritated me and his parables would have annoyed me, right? Then we went back to training, and Jesus sat there and told me today, he goes, Earl, the whole training class was parables about Steve Mohan being a advocate for people with disabilities because of chemical toxins and abuse through idolatry, indoctrination, incarceration, and institutionalization, right? Okay, his parables suck compared to our parables, Earl. That's true. There's nothing so because I know right about this minute. Admit it. I in it. So like Guru and others. Jesus' parables, the Good Samaritan, the workers in the wine vineyard, the good son, and and so I'll send you the good son, and he'll teach you the truth of the Gospels, and share it with you so you can all live it eternally. But you won't do that. You'll kill him and then try to replace him with your lie and your selfishness. I'll go. The good master will come and he'll go out and get everybody to come work in the vineyards together, so we can all share the fruits of our labor together. But you guys won't do that. You'll all sit and bitch. I started out the day, and my grandchildren get the same pay as I do. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Get over it. See past your nose. If you look at life eternally, there truly will be work for all, and everything, because everything's based off of human greed and not human need, So, because Steve told us that, thing about he went with this kid that was autistic to his doctor's appointment, and the doctor kept talking to Steve about the diagnosis and everything. He said, "No, I'm just like his CNI dog. Talk to him. He's the patient. Talk to him. He can't verbally express, but he can verbally understand." Like David that I worked with before I got the job at, remember? When I sat there and who's the teacher? And David goes, David. Who's the student? Kim. And so David's the teacher, right? What about Ralph? Student. I said, you're fucking with me. He goes, yeah. He goes, ha. I started laughing. He goes, but he really was a teacher and we were students. Because they were being condescending to him and talking, in a realm that he had a greater understanding to. And they weren't treating him with the dignity and respect that he was. He was a normal, typical kid. And then there was a vaccination that he had to get. He had an allergic reaction to it. And then he became autistic. Okay? They said, he's a real vicious kid. He almost beat the shit out of his mother because his mother was doing the same thing we do to him. That's why he ran out in front of that bus and thought about stepping in front of those cars that one day. And I had to grab him back. He scared the shit out of me. Did you tell him? No, I didn't tell anybody. I knew. So don't do that. It's okay. Stay here, right here with me. We'll get through this. But that was a hard thing to ask him. Because he was a typical kid till he got a vaccination, had an allergic reaction to it, and he was autistic. That's why lots of Mexicans and blacks don't get vaccinated. Guys, you want to spend the rest of your life going to the doctor, having somebody that gets a paycheck to pay his extortion to live here and not live the ways of Solomon and David and Jesus Christ? So they can be your seeing eye dog at the doctor's visits? You know what people are saying, but you can't express it, you can't see it. And then they tell you, hey, that's inappropriate. Don't, when people you like walk in the room. That makes other people upset. I said, fuck that shit. If I go to a McDonald's in 20 years and I hear, I went, David, my dog, right? It's David. Hi, David. I miss you. I love you, man. You didn't step out in front of a car past that bus. Good. Bitty bitty bumba. Remember the little girl that had us, we all had to bitty bumba to get her to come off the bus and go on the bus? And what was his name again? The one that we always used to beat the shit out of me on PS1 baseball? Brandon, yeah, Brandon. I don't want to. You're kicking my ass. I'm never going to get up to bat. Okay? I'm never going to get you out, right? And so it's okay, just come on, let's go. We only got to play a couple of innings because he beat the living shit out of me. He was so good at it. And come on, we got to go bitty bitty bumba to the bus. Bitty 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 bumba. And AB wrote that one song? Yeah, he wrote Como la Flor and Bitty Bob. Did he write No Me Quedo Más? That was such a good song. Those are good songs. Yeah. Old AB. Yeah. Well, that's what it said in the movie. John says to Jennifer, he writes an excellent Cuba, and you sing the heck out of it, right? It's true. She does. He writes a really good cumbia rhythm and a good love song, Como la Flor and Como la Flor and Como la Flor. It's because we were talking about that other because I'm doing my connectings, right? And I'm on my last two, and I got to do the vaqueros. And the vaqueros, it's pronounced vaquero, not vaquero. We don't say va. It's Pancho Villa, like a B. Is how we say it. Okay. It's the letter V in English, but in Espanol we say vaquero, Pancho Villa. Okay, that's how we say it. That's how we pronunciate things in Spanish. Bu, Spanish, Mexican. I don't know what the Spanish still do because of the Hofburg with the lift, and everything. I'm not sure, but they might say vaquero and Pancho Villa. I'm just kidding. Villa and two L's is pronounced ia. ¿Tú entiendes? Okay, so but I think we all, todos, people that speak Spanish. Not todos es Latinos, no. Some of them are, Zapotecs. And then they have it. You go study the ancient stupidity of the conquistador, your stallion stands, right? There's Pinsulares, Hidalgos, all the way down to the Negro. Yeah, the very bottom of the total pole is the Negro. Why? Because of transhuman's tribal secular warfare rating, especially since they got occupied by the Moors for like 700 years. That tends to, goddamn nigger, son of a bitch, say that, goddamn nigger, goddamn pharaoh face. Okay, and that also affected the Iberian Peninsula with, Gypsy Kings, Menino. And so that's why there's that biological conditioning for little Napoleon to try to shoot their nose off. And it was racist. No, it's tribalism, and it's violent sex called tribalism, and thou shalt not render unto God any graven image. Boom ba boom boom ba doom ba boom boom ba doom ba na 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 na. Crazy ass rabbits. Tricks are for kids. It's hard to teach Nas how to be humble. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. He killed Jesus when he was like 12 or 13. Oh, I never killed Jesus. No. I walked away from the corporations that did. I don't think they understand the goddamn word Jesus is saying. They crazy. These motherfuckers crazy. Like I told people, if they'd given me Krishnamurti, with Helen Garrett giving a second car, if they'd give us Krishnamurti, said, Marianne, you really ought to listen to this guy. And then, they would have taken me to, we'd ended up I was one day going to see him because he had many times he'd go to Ojai, California. And he'd, hi, and we would have talked, and he would have known. But I don't know. I don't know what he would have done. So we weren't meant to meet, and we weren't meant to be together, because he couldn't, quote, channel me when they wanted to do that back in the 30s and 40s, and they were all excited about it, and he couldn't do it. No, I can't talk to the kid. It's not, we can't do it. Well, because I'm certain, as the Jurton and the curtain, Zamp and the lamp and the Neller and the Deller and the Beller and the Sweller, that I had to be completely I'm Spring Bean of the line of the apostles, prophets, and messiahs. I'm sitting here standing on a sidewalk in Tennessee with a pistol in one hand and scissors on the other side. Can't make up my mind if I want to cut across the alley or shoot across the street. Sure like having sex with them black girls with big booties and full lips. But I'm not Monsters Ball, because I'll marry them and then they treat me like shit because they feel like they're betraying old Ramesses' face. Napoleon, get the guy out. Ziggy Piggy. We left him there. Why? Because he was a dick. Party on, dudes. All we are is dust in the wind, bro. Oh, and Bill has a slight Oedipus complex because his stepmom was head cheerleader, and then when she got out of high school, she married his dad, who was her social studies teacher and counselor or something like that. It happens. Yeah, it does. More than people care to imagine. I don't know. It probably happens quite a bit. It's on probably Dateline in 2020 and shit, Yeah. And what happens is it's her second husband. She gets caught killing him by putting the drugs that they use to euthanize dogs, but they didn't tell about the first husband because they thought he deserved it because he was 49 and she was 17. And when they started having sex, and then they got married when she turned 18. Yeah. So I want to put that story in there to say that, oh, well, she was groomed and trained to be like this. Right. How's Zeitgeist of our movie, right? Sucks, don't it? Yeah, sucks, don't it? Wanna hurts, don't it? No, none of this hurts you guys. You guys are assholes. You're never wrong. You're always right. You're perfect. You're smart. You're amazing. You're sexy. You're the biggest influencers in the history of influencers. Yeah, but you're nothing like Goebbels and his wife and Hitler and Eva Braun. No, I need more money to fuck society. No, I'm sexy. Everybody wants to have sex with me because I'm the sexiest. You're the sexiest propaganda tool bag in the history of mass murder because we're not recognizing the living Messiah. And the thing about it is, guys, is science, the final frontier, right? Whoa. I'm in solitary confinement. Scientists are not my peer. And science mandates, doesn't dictate, mandates that we're supposed to live the best lives we can possibly live, given the understanding of our existence and the natural laws to sustain our existence, right? Like in Proverbs! But Proverbs is corrupted by people like Constantine and Jerome. So the word always consists through the Ark of the Covenant, through Holy Grails, to correct the lies, to maintain the way, the truth, and the life to eternal faithful existence through faithful law, through obeying and understanding natural laws provided by infinite glory for an eternal kingdom of heaven here on earth. Okay. But it says this, I don't give a fuck what the book says. Okay? If I say I'm gravity and Jerome and Constantine write it down, does that make Earl gravity? You're God, Earl! Hi. I'm Dwayne Rack Johnson. I'm going to smash the big rock chair and tell everybody, I don't want to be an asshole anymore. I want to be a professional wrestler. Oh, wow. I just thought about, what about life without wrestling? Life without wrestling? You'll never have life without wrestling. Why? Damn it! Go listen to Moody Blues! And passion lovers wrestle as when lonely man cries for love and has none. New mother picks up and suckles her son. Okay? Cold and ardent orb that rules the night, makes colors fade from our sight, makes red, black, and yellow white. But we decide what is right and what is an illusion. I'm looking at the self-reflections of my mind. We're Tuesday afternoon or night watch chatting, or both. A life being eternal, grace be infinite, we're both. You remember they used that to fuck with me with Jennifer Lopez too? God, they're so mean. Yeah, but I'm over it. It used to, now it just makes me laugh. It's one thing I'd like to say. No, the Temple Set Illuminati, no, they don't make me laugh. Jennifer makes me laugh. She does some things that's like, you so funny, girl. You so silly. You do the goofiest things. You remind me of my wives and my fiancés. And you so silly. It's okay. Money not real. You remind me of Peggy and Shannon is gone. I hope she's, no, and she's all throwing a fit. She's got a master's degree from NYSU, right? She's throwing a fit. My grandmother's evil and she does voodoo. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I went to go to El Paso one time, dropped by her place over in the projects, right? I went inside, we talked, we came back out, she did a voodoo dance around my car. And then I got down to El Paso, and I got 40 miles out of El Paso, my oil pan was completely dry, and my car died and destroyed my engine. I said, okay, so she paid a drug addict with drug, and maybe her daughter had sex with him or something, to drain your oil pan while you came in the house. And then that's when Peggy started getting real mean with me and didn't think, that's when she stopped telling me, though. She stopped telling me, you're like Chuck. It's like, I'm nothing like Chuck. And I used to tell her that. I'm not like your stupid retired military walking, talking dick who tries to talk all girls and having sex with them and wonders how much money it's going to cost until she starts having sex with them. I'm nothing like your fucking Chuck. Okay? Chuck is a little man with a loaded dick running around. I'm gonna fuck that, I'll fuck that. Yeah, oh boy, I'll drink your bathwater. You know them types. Girl, you so fine, I'll drink your bathwater. It's like, I'm nothing like Chuck. And she kept accusing me. And that used to piss me off. And Shannon always accused me of stuff. She's like, he talks all that trash about being abused by the military. He has schizophrenia and he's probably a drug addict. And as it turned out, she was a drug addict. Okay. I'm like, and she drove me crazy. It's like, she reminds me of my fucking family. They all sit there and stare at you like you're fucking Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, you do know you vote for his politicians that he put in office because he can manipulate them because he took them to sex parties with teenagers. God damn, your pastor could figure it out. Your pastor already knows. Why? Because he's probably been to parties like that too. It's because the John David Rockefeller Foundation pays for his church. We went to Israel last year, and we walked the Holy Land where Jesus walked our God, and one day we will walk among him on earth as angels of avenging angels of mass murder all the Arabs for oil and cell phones, and prophylactics and drugs. Lots of drugs. We need lots of drugs to get to heaven. When you're weary, there's a lady, I'm sure, that's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's nothing wrong with that song. It's a very good song. It's satirical, and it tells everybody in the United States your religion has turned into you accept everything on TV, and then you buy drugs to survive it. It's a very good song. Okay? Bridge Over Troubled Water, Stairway to Heaven. Take your pick. If you like the guitar, you're going to like Stairway better. If you like the orchestra and a really good voice, because I like Robert Plant, but you got to admit, Art Garfunkel, that is sweet, man. Okay? Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. That's a good song, isn't it? And if you need a friend, I'll be right. You know, like a bridge, and the orchestra goes and ba-boom, 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 like bolero and all. It's really gay. It's my favorites when I was a kid. Anybody else like Bridge Over Troubled Water? My favorite was Cecilia, like Michael Fabre. You know, well, I married Cecilia. Her name was Amy Seal. Ami Suzanne Fabre. That's one of the sexiest names on the planet. I hold to that. It truly is. Jeanette, I don't know what Jeanette's middle name is, but her name's sexy too. Yeah, Barbara know how to pick out a sexy name to go with Fabre. She had the name Fabre. It's like, my name's Barbara Burroughs, and I married a Fabre, so my girls could be Ami Suzanne Fabre, Jeanette, sexy woman Fabre. You know, it's like, ooh, yeah. Le pepe le pew, follow you around. Maybe we do the not dirty doo-doo, but right? You know, you're funny. I know. I like Jenny. She's a sweetheart. Mike would get a little uptight about things, you know. But I didn't dislike Mike. You know, I didn't dislike him. He just was a little bit more uptight and would talk shit about Amy more like Randall. And, you know, it's like, why doesn't one of you guys, am I the only one that sits there and, you know, and Amy wouldn't let me. They'll all hate you if you do. I don't give a damn. I'm going to kick his ass. And then he got 86th. It got replaced with a brown fellow who's much nicer. And even Randall's kids like the new father better than the mean old one that picked on Aunt Amy all the time because his mom was diagnosed as bipolar. And you do know if the woman is bipolar, then the man most likely inherits that gene to have that brain injury from trying to accept the insanity of not living the perfection of the Gospels. Yeah. Yahweh. Yeah, our parents' brain injuries affect us. And that's the thing, you know, when my mom has certain brain injuries too. She had the Al Gore disease, you know. We're brilliant academics. We'll solve all our problems with our brilliant brains, and then we will free, you know, because mom, the same thing like, bet you golly wow, you know, a feckin' car. You know, you're the one I've been waiting for forever. That's what happens when you discover the Mahanta. Yeah. Why do you have to discover the Mahanta, Mom? God's omniscient, omnipotent. I don't get that feeling about Twitchell, Gross, or Klemp. I mean, Klemp seems like a nice guy, but he's full of shit. He says he has omnipotent powers, and he don't. I tested, he doesn't. And the Eckankar people, when you're one of them, they're real nice to you. But when you're at an event and they think you're the Mexican help, they treat you like shit. Oh, yeah. I got a big education on that. I thought they were the nicest people in the world because you walk around with your little Eckankar sticker and they're, oh, Baraka Bashad, oh, Past Lives, oh. And then when I volunteered to be an usher because a lot of the people didn't want to do it. that worked there. So I volunteered to be an usher to help the whole stuff. I did it for free, right, on my own time. And so when Harold came up, I had to stand back by the door, make sure everything was okay, nobody's coming in, and make sure everybody was all right. And these people were snotty and shitty too. Kathy Marks was a total bitch to me. And I had to go up and meet her because she sang. I was like, this girl can hold the note. She has a very beautiful voice, right? As good as Randy Crawford or Roberta Flack. No, it wasn't that good, but it was good. There's a lot of black girls can sing, like Sharon's sister. No, Sharon's sister could sing. Yeah, she was better than Kathy Marks. She didn't want nothing to do with me. She was a heavyweight, cute girl with an amazing voice. I was like, she won't go out with me? No, she's only interested in big black guys. Oh, okay. They're going to fuck around her or get her pregnant and make her life miserable. I know. That's why I did cocaine for a while there. Sharon, she was a sweetheart. She was like, no, she was the one who always gave me advice. You need to read Essence magazine to find out. Okay. And I would read I did everything. To understand black women. Psychologically, emotionally, I read Essence. I only read it a little bit, though, because they drove me crazy. In the end, only a peewit judges a man by the group and a group by the man. Same with a woman. Just because that mean, evil bitch that owned Essence magazine that was totally disrespectful to Salt and Pepper, and only Pepper got it, Salt was like, this bitch going to tell us how to be because now we have to be classier to pay her thing. And if we play the stuff that got us here, no, you have to correct yourself. You got to be better. You got to be like Malcolm X and me. What makes you think you're anything like Malcolm X? You're a rich bitch who won't try to help poor people out of poverty no matter how hard they try. Okay. Pep knew. Pep was like, well, she got fucked by Trench. I did your friend because I'm naughty by nature, not because I hate you. And Salt, she might have had a relationship with Tupac and was trying to, let's just get her wrong. I really want to have sex with Janet Jackson. Yeah, I would too, but she was with Renee. So he got to kiss her, but I don't think he got to have sex with her. Yeah. That was when she's at her prime. Damn, Pac, I'm sorry. Just kidding around. No, you're respectful. Thanks. You're a respectful dude. Let's go get some ice cream. I love you too. No, I love Pac a lot. I love Pac a lot. He's a really good guy. No, when he got in little situations where there was more than one and they ended up together, it was their idea and he was kind of down with it. Guys, if it was a bunch of best friends that weren't sisters or mother and daughter or, when Jan came over with Kimmy, and I didn't take Patrick because I didn't want to use my friends for daycare for this, and so I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and then it did, and I was like, oh, no, I would have been down with that. That would have been fun. Me and Amy have had that talk in the shower. Oh, yeah, if Patrick had been at Punchies and Treeses, I'd love the shit out of that. We've done more things, and I've had so much fun. Oh, because Kimmy was just my type, and she was so cute, and her and Jant were, in the military together, and I'd had a great time. Yeah. 2 gorgeous black women to have sex with at the same time that wanted to have sex with you because you were such a nice guy, and you deserved it? Earl, you sound just like Tristan Thompson. Yeah, I do, but Tristan Thompson isn't like Solomon and David and Saladin and others that, that we had to do that because other men were thinking with their dicks and then got people mass murdered so there weren't enough husbands for wives. Yeah. Women wanted to do that for me because I was the type of person that protected people from the Epstein files, protected us from El Chapo Guzman, Johnny Avila, Vladimir Putin, and don't forget George Herbert Walker Bush. He's KGB, assholes. Ricky Ross cracked McDonald's. That's all I got to say to you. He advertised his business on TV to get you to buy it so he could keep his business going. If you want to know how I really feel, get the cameras rolling, get the action going. Baby, my love for you is real, so take me where you want to. Let's go blow up Noriega and Saddam Hussein and become a war hero. And everybody knew on the down low, he just went and cleaned up his old set of drug dealers for a new set of drug dealers that he could handle better. He's on top of his game, right? But he better do it on the down low. And that's what George Walker Bush had to inherit. That's the family business. Yeah. Laura had no clue. She had no clue what she was getting into. Now, she was a school teacher. It was like Ebony with Alan, you know. Why did it take for Alzama to remind us of reality is tragedy? You know, an intelligent woman believing what she'd been taught, right? Battle me, bruise me, talk about anything other than jewelry, right? He hated it. He loved her, but there were certain things like, you know, she wants this big ring before we get married, and I come from Willem Wallace. It took a blade of grass and put it around her finger and said, all I want is my meadow and the sheep, and you, my bonny lass, till the stars fall from the sky around us. And then if my son has to go out and fight all the people that don't want to live the ways of Jesus Christ, I will come and hear the soft he treads above me, and on my grave will warmer, sweeter days. And he will come and tell me that he loves me, and I shall sleep in peace till he comes to me. Oh, piss on the windshield, pixies of magic and blue piss every day, so the homeless people can clean my windshield for $1 or $2 to not get McDonald's, but a shot of booze to numb yourself till you die. Liar, liars. You kicking your own ass? I love you, right? I was just thinking about my Malockey Botma a lot today. And Patrick and the other kids. Noah was Mooj, bitch. It out the way, bitch. It out the way. Mooj, bitch. He got most of his words pretty good. Except for move. It was mooch. Mooch, bitch, it out the way. And then he started singing it, and his church lady grandma heard it, and of course Amy blamed it on me. He's from the ghetto. He was in ghetto apartments. He was married to a black woman that's a lesbian and was in ghetto. He you know, there was Crips in his apartment when I married him, mother. And we civilized him and moved him to Mesa, Arizona. Yeah. It's because we had 2 incomes. Instead of 1. And then Stephanie pounced on the opportunity to come in and divide and conquer. And she did that every time. Yeah. Well, you know, the thing was, you know, we were still in the same economic situation, but we moved to Mesa because it was a nicer area. And Amy, the funny thing was Steffi moved. And she moved, and she moved, and she moved, okay? When I lived in Central Phoenix at Mom, she lived way out near AJ. Then she moved again, and she moved again, and then she told fucking Judge O'Connor, he always moves to make it inconvenient for me. I was like, I wasn't doing that. I was just getting to where we could afford. I was just being like you, you know. We got him into good school district in Mesa. We thought we were going to the right place, you know. It's further out of town, and it was further away from the airport, and less pollution, less crime. So it's Mesa. It's where all the rich Mormons live. Duh. What are you thinking? You think so? Amy moved me out like where Amy lived out in Surprise, you know, where all the rich Mormons live. Surprise! Golly! You know. So yeah, so that's what they did, you know. I mean, that's where the middle class white people live in Phoenix is, you know, Mesa and Surprise. The rich people live in Scottsdale. The poor people, Central Phoenix, South Phoenix, and Glendale. Yeah, okay. Go! Dip-dap diddly, dip-dap diddly, dip-dap diddly, diddly doo, dip-dap diddly, dip-dap diddly, dip-dap diddly, diddly doo. It's hard to explain to people things. Chandler and Casa Grande and all that. Me and Amy wanted to move to Chandler. Well, because it's way further out of town. There's less pollution, and it never worked out for us. We liked it because it was smaller. She liked smaller towns. She had that in her from Janice. She had that, you know, just wanted to get away and live in she would rather be a big fish in a small pond than be, you know, just a nobody in Phoenix. And she liked being popular, and she liked being the, you know, you're the kind of person, you know, me to sit more dismal, you're running up and down the skates. You better stop and look around. Here it comes. Here comes your 19th nervous breakdown. That was Amy Sue. Yeah. Father was perfecting ways of making sealing wax, and your mother, who neglected you, one that owes $1 million tax. Her mother didn't really neglect her. She just abused her with what she perceived was intellect to Amy's innocence and dorky-doopy cuteness. And you don't abuse people when they're doopy cute. You just explain to them, no, honey, if you do that, people will abuse you because they're mean. like I used to do it for her. And she'd get mad at me. Steffi did the same thing to me. They get mad at me when I would say stuff like that, but it's true. You can't go tell people that you're going to quit your job for $10 an hour and get 2 jobs at 20 hours a week at $5 a week and make the equivalent in salary. Don't tell anybody that. Don't just let me help you and keep your emotions down. I'll help you. Okay, keep your calm. And then I explained to her too, it's not because it's your lesbian. They knew you're a lesbian. You came dressed in guys' clothes wearing men's cologne. It was because of your drug dealer girlfriend showed up, and they all got scared that there might be a drive-by or some kind of incident if she shows up. Shit, I'm not dumb. I wasn't born yesterday. All right, I love y'all, right? We'll talk later. Peace out, man.